Imagine growing up with nothing, no proper football boots, sometimes not even enough food to eat, living in a tiny shack or a dangerous favela where survival is a daily battle. Yet, through raw talent, unbreakable willpower, relentless hard work, and an almost superhuman determination, you rise from the absolute bottom to become one of the greatest footballers the world has ever seen. Earning millions, winning every major trophy, and changing your family's life forever. In this special video, we tell the most incredible football legends who came from extreme poverty. True rags to riches stories that will move you, inspire you, and prove that your background does not define your destiny.
When they've got an extra man.
Here goes Messi. They're backing off and backing off! It's a wonder goal by Lionel Messi!
From the slums of Brazil and Argentina to the tough streets of Europe and Africa, these players turned poverty into power and became global icons. Their journeys are not just about football, they are about resilience, hope, sacrifice, and the beautiful game at its purest. Get ready for an emotional, uplifting ride through some of the greatest underdog stories in sports history. Football is often seen as a game of wealth, academies, money, and fame. But some of its greatest legends came from nothing. They faced poverty, hunger, and impossible odds, yet refused to give up. Football became their escape, their only way out. In this video, we'll uncover the powerful journeys of players who rose from the lowest points in life to the very top of the game. These aren't just football stories. They're stories of resilience, sacrifice, and turning nothing into everything.
To the far side it goes, Messi for 4!
Cristiano Ronaldo. From a poor island boy to the greatest of all time. Cristiano Ronaldo's journey is one of the most remarkable in football history. Born on the small, modest Portuguese island of Madeira, Ronaldo grew up in a poor working-class family. His father was a gardener and his mother a cook. The family lived in a very small house with limited resources. Young Cristiano shared a room with his siblings and often went without proper football boots or equipment. He played on the streets with whatever he could find. At just 12 years old, he left his family and island to join Sporting Lisbon's academy in mainland Portugal. The move was incredibly tough. He faced homesickness, bullying because of his Madeiran accent, and the pressure of performing at a high level while still a child. But Ronaldo's incredible dedication, work ethic, and natural talent shone through. He turned professional at a young age and never looked back. The rest is history. Ronaldo became one of the greatest players of all time, winning multiple Ballon d'Or awards, 5 Champions League titles, and breaking countless goal-scoring records. He has said many times in interviews that his difficult childhood and the hunger he felt growing up fueled his relentless drive to succeed. Today, he is a global icon, a successful businessman, and a role model for millions. Ronaldo's story shows that no matter how poor your start, talent combined with obsessive hard work can take you to the very top of the world. Lionel Messi, the boy from Rosario who needed a miracle. Lionel Messi's story is pure magic. Born into a working-class family in Rosario, Argentina, Messi's father worked in a factory and his mother was a cleaner. At age 11, he was diagnosed with a growth hormone deficiency that required expensive monthly treatment his family simply could not afford. Without help, his football dream would have ended. Barcelona stepped in and offered to pay for the treatment if the family moved to Spain. At just 13 years old, Messi left his home, his friends, and his country to chase his dream in a new land. The early years in Barcelona's La Masia Academy were incredibly tough. He was homesick, physically small, and faced bullying. But his extraordinary talent and quiet determination made him unstoppable. Messi went on to win everything in the game, multiple Ballon d'Or awards, Champions League titles, and finally the World Cup with Argentina in 2022. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest players ever. His journey from a boy who needed medical help, his family couldn't afford to football's greatest, is one of the most beautiful and inspiring stories in sport. Pelé, the king who rose from Brazilian poverty. Pelé, the original king of football, was born into extreme poverty in Três Corações, Brazil. His family was so poor that young Edson Arantes do Nascimento, Pelé, often worked as a shoeshine boy to help put food on the table. He played football in the streets using a sock stuffed with newspaper because his family could not afford a real ball. Discovered by a local coach, Pelé rose rapidly through the ranks. At just 17 years old, he starred in Brazil's 1958 World Cup victory and became a global sensation. He went on to win 3 World Cups and is still considered by many to be the greatest player of all time. Pelé's story from the streets of poverty to worldwide fame and adoration is a true fairy tale that inspired generations. Diego Maradona, the slum boy who became a god. Diego Maradona grew up in the poor Villa Fiorito slums of Buenos Aires. His family lived in a tiny house with no running water. As a child, Diego played football in the streets with makeshift balls. His incredible talent took him from the slums to Argentinos Juniors, Boca Juniors, Barcelona, and finally Napoli, where he became a godlike figure and led the club to its only 2 Serie A titles. Maradona's journey from extreme poverty to worldwide fame is one of football's most dramatic and emotional stories. His genius on the pitch and his complex life off it made him one of the most loved and controversial figures in sport. More legendary stories. Mohamed Salah grew up in a small Egyptian village, worked hard, and became Liverpool's king. Sadio Mané sold his belongings to fund his move to Europe from a poor Senegalese village. Kylian Mbappé grew up in a tough Paris suburb but had strong family support. Neymar, humble beginnings in Brazil before becoming a global superstar. These football legends prove that no matter how poor or difficult your start in life, talent, hard work, sacrifice, and belief can take you to the very top of the world. Their stories remind us that the beautiful game can truly change lives and lift entire families out of poverty. Which player's journey touched you the most? Which story inspired you to never give up? Share in the comments below. If you enjoyed this emotional and uplifting video, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss future inspiring football stories. Thanks for watching. Dream big, work hard, and never let your beginnings define your ending. The next legend could be playing in the streets right now.